Hey everyone, welcome back to OPG Syndicate. Today we're diving into the wild world of George Machine Gun Kelly Barnes, a legendary gangster from the Prohibition era. We'll also look at Kathryn Thorne, the woman behind the man. Hit subscribe and let's get started. George Machine Gun Kelly Barnes was born in Memphis, Tennessee, on July 18, 1895. His early life was far from what one might expect from a future notorious gangster. Born into a relatively stable and comfortable middle-class family, Kelly was offered opportunities for education and personal development. He attended some of the local schools and showed early signs of intelligence, though records suggest that he was never a particularly focused student. After completing his early education, Kelly took a different path from what his upbringing might have suggested. He tried his hand at several jobs, including working as a cab driver and a waiter, but these early endeavors were not particularly fruitful. Interestingly, his first encounter with the criminal world wasn't as an active participant, but as a victim. He was once robbed while working as a cab driver. It was around this period that Kelly attended Mississippi at A&M College, where he studied agriculture. However, his college career was short-lived, and he soon dropped out. The transformation of George Kelly into the notorious Machine Gun Kelly was neither immediate nor singularly influenced. Instead, it was a gradual process fueled by multiple factors. One of the most influential aspects was his relationship with Kathryn Thorne, whom he married in 1930. Kathryn had a profound impact on his life and criminal career. She was the one who encouraged him to upgrade his criminal activities and even helped him plan some of his most infamous heists. But perhaps what truly set Kelly apart from other small-time criminals was his use of heavy artillery, particularly the Thompson submachine gun, which led to his famous moniker. His criminal portfolio started to evolve from minor offenses to serious crimes, including bank robberies and kidnappings. Kathryn helped craft his image as Machine Gun Kelly by posing him with his namesake weapon and distributing these photographs. This public relations move made him infamous and feared, both by the public and law enforcement agencies. Kelly flirted with the idea of bootlegging during the Prohibition era, a time when the demand for illegal alcohol was skyrocketing. Although bootlegging was a risky venture, it offered substantial profits. While he was not among the top kingpins of the bootlegging world, he did manage to make some connections and money, both of which would be valuable resources in his later years. Kelly's first bank robberies were in small towns, often meticulously planned to minimize risks. His tactics included scouting the bank in advance, learning the daily routines, and strategically timing the robbery to reduce the chances of getting caught. These early bank heists were largely successful, but what truly catapulted him into criminal stardom was his audacity to target larger financial institutions in more prominent cities. The robberies grew more daring with time, especially after he adopted the use of the Thompson submachine gun, a powerful weapon that instilled fear and gave him an upper hand during confrontations. This was also when he gained his infamous nickname, Machine Gun Kelly, and started gaining media attention. The money from the bank robberies provided Kelly and Kathryn with a lavish lifestyle, but it also put them on the radar of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. Bank robbery was now a federal crime, and the couple found themselves among America's most wanted. It wasn't long before Kelly decided to diversify his criminal portfolio even further by venturing into kidnapping, notably the kidnapping of oil tycoon Charles F. Herschel, which would prove to be both his most audacious crime and his ultimate undoing. Kathryn Thorne, often overlooked in accounts of her more infamous husband, played a pivotal role in the criminal career of George Machine Gun Kelly Barnes. Born Cleo Mae Brooks in 1904 in Saltillo, Mississippi, she had her fair share of run-ins with the law before meeting Kelly. By the time they crossed paths in the late 1920s, she had already been married twice and was involved in various petty crimes. She adopted the name Kathryn Thorne after one of her marriages. The two married in 1930 and formed a partnership that would go down in the annals of American crime history. Kathryn was not just a passive bystander in Kelly's life. She was an active participant and a driving force behind many of his crimes. From the get-go, she encouraged Kelly to think bigger and aim higher in his criminal pursuits. Kathryn had a knack for planning and logistics, skills that proved invaluable in orchestrating complicated heists and escapes. She was also a shrewd manipulator of public perception. It was Kathryn who came up with the idea of posing Kelly with a machine gun and distributing the photos, cementing his image as a dangerous and fearsome gangster. The couple used the media to their advantage. creating an almost mythic aura around Machine Gun Kelly that both titillated and terrified the public. Perhaps one of the most daring of Kelly's bank robberies was in Colfax, Washington, where he and his gang, including Kathryn acting as a lookout, made off with a sizable haul. The group had meticulously planned the robbery, timing it when the bank would be most flush with cash. The heist put them on the map as serious players in the criminal underworld. The proverbial net began to close on George Machine Gun Kelly Barnes following the high-profile kidnapping of oil tycoon Charles F. Urschel. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, under the leadership of J. Edgar Hoover, made capturing Kelly one of their top priorities. The involvement of the FBI meant that Kelly was no longer dealing with small-town police forces. He was now a federal fugitive. After a series of tips and leads, including ones provided by those who had been paid ransom money marked by the FBI, law enforcement agents traced Kelly to a residence in Memphis, Tennessee. On the morning of September 26, 1933, federal agents stormed the house. Kelly is famously said to have exclaimed, "Don't shoot G-men, don't shoot G-men," as he surrendered. His term G-men, short for government men, became a popular nickname for FBI agents from then on. Initially, Kelly was incarcerated at the U.S. Penitentiary in Leavenworth, Kansas. However, due to his high-profile nature and the risk he posed, it was decided to transfer him to Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary in 1934, shortly after the prison opened. Alcatraz was designed to be the most secure federal prison, housing inmates who were considered especially dangerous or flight risks. Kelly's notoriety, combined with his earlier escape attempts from other prisons, make him an ideal candidate for the isolation of Alcatraz. Kelly developed a reputation as an intelligent, even-tempered inmate. While he was not particularly involved in the social dynamics that played out in the prison yard, he did engage in prison labor and educational programs. Reports suggest that he took up painting and showed some aptitude for it. His relationship with other high-profile criminals, like Al Capone, was mostly neutral, neither marked by friendship nor rivalry. His wife Kathryn, who was imprisoned separately, maintained correspondence with him, and these letters serve as some of the few existing personal insights into Kelly's thoughts and feelings during his incarceration. George Machine Gun Kelly Barnes died on July 18, 1954, his 59th birthday, at the Leavenworth Federal Penitentiary in Kansas, where he had been transferred after Alcatraz was closed in 1951. The official cause of death was listed as a heart attack. His death was relatively uneventful compared to his life of high-stakes crime, kidnappings, and bank robberies. There was no elaborate plot or dramatic confrontation. Instead, one of America's most notorious criminals passed away quietly, almost inconspicuously, confined within the walls of a prison. That's a wrap on the intriguing life of Machine Gun Kelly and the equally captivating Kathryn Thorne. Their story provides a unique lens into American history during a time of lawlessness and change. What are your thoughts? Drop them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this episode, hit like and share. And as always, thanks for tuning in.